Hello and welcome to Dedicated to Wrestling. This is Slow News Saturday, episode 9, I believe. And if you don't know what we do here, we basically take all the minor news stories throughout the week and compile them into this Slow News Saturday episode so you don't miss any of the most important news throughout the wrestling world all throughout the week. And with that being said, let's get straight to today's episode. First of all, we're going to be talking about Bobby Lashley potentially against Brock Lesnar. Bobby Lashley was doing an interview this week in which he said he would be completely up for a match against Brock Lesnar. He made these comments to Sports Illustrated. Brock is at one of the highest points in the business right now, so high that they're trying to bring him down to make other stars. Brock brings legitimacy to the business and he has Paul Heyman with him to do everything else he can't do. I'm completely up for the fight. Personally, Brock and Lashley, if Vince McMahon ever did bring Lashley back, which I thought it's probably a good idea. Lashley has come on leaps and bounds since he's been in TNA. He's so much better on the mic. Like, he's a completely different person on the mic in TNA compared to that nervous guy when he was in the WWE. I'd be personally very interested in Lashley versus Brock. I think they could do something really, really good there, but it doesn't look like Bobby Lashley will be coming to the WWE anytime soon. However, this would be a completely great match, in my opinion. He also talked about Kurt Angle going into WWE Hall of Fame and said he desperately wants to get tickets to the Hall of Fame because Kurt was the one who got him into the wrestling business at all. He said he saw me at the Olympic Training Center when he was doing the vignette and he said, "Man, you've got a great look. You might want to really consider pro wrestling." It's magic when Kurt is out there. If Kurt wasn't in the Hall of Fame, then there was something very wrong with the Hall of Fame. Kurt is a star and I'm extremely happy for him. Getting on to the next piece of news, which once again revolves around Brock Lesnar and something Mick Foley has apparently been lobbying for backstage. According to Jim Ross, he was speaking to Jim Ross on Jim Ross's Ross Report. He said he would love to see a Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar WWE match, which in his opinion should be Kurt Angle's final WWE match. Foley explains that there's an aura around Lesnar. He believes that a lot of people knock the part-time aspect of pro wrestling, but noted that Paul Heyman said it's the same reason people do not celebrate Christmas every day, as it's too important. Foley said that he would love to see Lesnar versus Angle again and believes it would be a great match and a fitting exit for Angle if that's the way he chooses to go out. Now, don't get me wrong, Lesnar versus Kurt Angle, I'm sure the audience and all the fans would absolutely eat that up, no problem. But if Kurt Angle was going to wrestle one more match, if Vince was going to push his limit and let Kurt wrestle one more match, I don't necessarily think Brock Lesnar is the safest choice to go for. I mean, he's a little rough in the ring, but obviously knowing Brock, if he was to get in the ring with Kurt Angle, he would probably change his offense up a bit to keep things as safe as possible. I do worry still a little bit though, because Brock, he is a bit of a roughhouse when it comes to wrestling. Don't really want to see Kurt getting hurt in his final match. It's not something I want to see whatsoever. But a Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar match, it would be a great way for Kurt Angle to go out, no doubt about it, considering one of his most famous matches is against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, in which he lost the Undisputed Championship to Lesnar. So it would be a great way for him to go out, and apparently Mick Foley has been talking heavily about this backstage, trying to convince them to go with this idea sometime in the future. Getting on to our next piece of news regarding Emmalina. Now, Emmalina, well, apparently on this week's WWE Raw aired yet another promo for Emma, repackaging as Emmalina, but this time they are going to say that she is debuting this week on Raw. Now, obviously, not a lot of people are believing this right now because, let's face it, these promos have been airing since October. I mean, for crying out loud, October. I don't know anybody who's had like 5 months worth of promos just for a repackage. Like she's been cleared since October as well, which is the most ridiculous, frustrating thing. But apparently she will be re-debuting on Raw on Monday night. And if you were wondering whether she is going to, or it's WWE just trolling and carrying on this running joke, apparently it looks like she will be. It appears that Emma is already in Las Vegas at the moment, which is where Monday Night's Raw will come from. She posted a Twitter video that appears to be from Las Vegas saying on to the next chapter, Vegas. So it does look like we are finally going to see Emmalina this coming Monday. Hopefully she can make some sort of impact, because it looks like the WrestleMania Raw women's scene is already completely done with Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte and Nia Jax. Unless they can somehow squeeze Emmalina into that, it remains to be seen. But unless WWE are trolling once again, she will be on Raw on Monday. Next piece of news regarding the brand split. Vince McMahon had his annual quarter revenue report in which he said he was extremely pleased with the brand split so far. Some of the highlights he noticed that he's been very pleased with the crossover viewers that are now watching SmackDown, because when SmackDown was just pretty much regarded as the B show where they would just rehash storylines with the same superstars and just do kind of pointless matches, SmackDown didn't really have a big audience compared to Raw, but now SmackDown is heavily on Raw's tails as far as the audience goes, and as we all know, it actually beat Raw in the weekly ratings one week, so he's very happy about the viewers SmackDown is currently pulling in, and it's currently pulling in around 2.6 million viewers per week, which is fantastic for SmackDown, and he really hopes that could continue. Vince also talked about fresh talent being switched from brand to brand. He used Roman Reigns as the example, potentially jumping to SmackDown. Vince mentioned that it's hard to create new stars with just one main show, so the brand split allows others to climb the ladder of success. In regards to the next draft, Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer has mentioned that the company is actually planning on having a draft sometime this year, and it's believed that draft will most likely take place sometime in June. So it's going to be well after WrestleMania, but it will be before the next big event, SummerSlam, which will be around August time. And on to our last piece of news, which has just been coming out today. John Cena has been talking about retirement plans with Sky Sports News in the UK. Sky Sports News asked him the blunt question, will he be retiring from wrestling? Because as we know, John Cena is constantly being bombarded with Hollywood offers, and it seemed like it was just a matter of time before he made the full transfer from WWE to Hollywood, much like The Rock did all those years ago. When asked about this, Cena simply said, I'm very far from retiring. I feel like I'm at my physical best. I don't think it's any secret to anybody that this is what I love to do the most, and I am far from over. He continued, I am still able to do this after 16 championships, and I always say that my greatest match is my next one. A lot of folks in the WWE say that I am maybe past my prime and have lost a step, and that creates a giant chip on my shoulder. I want to showcase to everyone watching that I am still at my best. So that's good to hear. You know, as much hate as John Cena gets and trolling John Cena gets, he is the face of the WWE, and he has been for over a decade. And quite frankly, the WWE wouldn't be the same without Big Match John, whether we love him or hate him. So hopefully, however long he stays around, it is for a while yet, even if he does take some regular breaks. But hopefully he can continue to be with WWE for the foreseeable future, like he says, because as I said, it just wouldn't be the same without Big Johnny. That is going to be it for this episode, guys. Episode 9 of Slow News Saturday. Thank you for watching. I will be back tomorrow with any breaking news, if there is any breaking news regarding the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, where Bray Wyatt is heavily favoured to walk out with the WWE Championship from John Cena. Until then, I will see you next time. This has been Dedicated to Wrestling. Until next time.